Hello, everybody. Welcome to Most Wanted Topics. I'm your host, Kevin Dennison. Along with me, Atomic Tommy, broadcasting to you from our studio here at Most Wanted Comics here in beautiful Bloomington, Minnesota. Atomic Tommy, how you doing today?
I am doing very well. It has been a great weekend, a lot of fun stuff happening in town, and I'm tired, but we're here making it happen.
You were busy. You were at the comic book exchange.
Show in Woodbury, up the Minnesota Comics Exchange. Had a local show in Woodbury this past Saturday. It was awesome. It was fun. A lot of great people there. A lot of great books. Had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we sold some dollar books at the exchange show, so it's pretty good. And shout out to Keys Cafe in Woodbury, serving another awesome breakfast.
Yep, serving it up, bringing their A game for the show.
Serving up them bacon and eggs the way they should. To tell you what, it was very good. Anyway, the show was good. You guys were there working it, talking to the people. Had a lot of requests for some things to talk about today, which is kind of cool. That there's we just look at the numbers, and it's not like we have a ton of numbers, but we do have a good following now, and people are emailing us, and it was fun to hear you say after the show that people were coming up asking your opinions and want you to cover it on the show.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to answer the requests of the people. Mm-hmm. Okay? So, but before we get to that, we've got a lot of fun stuff to talk about, like the books that came out. We got to get to that, and then we'll address some of what the people want to talk about. We're going to talk about Batman.
Yes, we are.
People want to hear our take on favorite Batmans, which I don't know why, but that's what they want to hear. And then also, of course, the complaints about Godzilla.
Yes, we will be talking about it all.
We'll be addressing that. We'll talk about it all. But okay, Tommy, let's talk about the comics this week.
Yeah, so I told you guys last week that I'd be mentioning a few books from the 14th, given that we had to skip that part in lieu of the massive interviews that we had last week. So in a few minutes, we'll be bringing on the mighty Mafu to discuss Transformers number 5. We have a lot to say about that, as well as right now, I'm going to talk about Vengeance of Moon Knight number 2, the continuation of the new Moon Knight run written by Jed MacKay, who just finished the 30-issue Moon Knight run that killed off Mark Spector to bring in somebody new. Obviously, we got all the classic, cool characters from his run still in here. Hunter's Moon, Reese the Vampire, all these characters. Tigra is still in. And this number 2, and while we still don't know who this new Moon Knight is, we do know that he has these weird little purple moon powers that aren't really, explained yet. We'll see what those are. I don't really understand them, but they do look cool in purple, one of my favorite colors.
Purple for Lent.
Purple for Lent, yes. And great tie-in. Dynamite drop-in.
Thank you.
But the where was I? I know I lost my train of thought.
Purple.
Oh yeah. Moon. Anyway, it was a great book. And one of the weirdest things about it was this is something that MacKay did a little bit in the previous run, and that's Tigra was actually a pretty big character in the last Moon Knight run. She a friend of Mark Spector. They knew each other since the West Coast Avengers. That was all big. That was a big thing. And she got a little bit of character in that 30-issue run, kind of sprinkled throughout. But this was like a full Tigra issue, man. She had like a whole therapy session, diving into her inner thoughts and feelings about the Mark Spector. Really gave her some character, some depth, which was much appreciated. So, an interesting book, an interesting issue. I'm excited to see where it goes. And that's that. And again, we'll have Matthew talking about Transformers in a minute, but let's
talk about Daredevil next.
Let's jump to last week. There's a few things we're going to talk about from there. First, we will discuss Daredevil, which is an interesting run. It's been 6 issues, so I figured it's time we probably talk about it a little bit.
Really different take on him this time.
It's a kind of a different take. This time, Matt Murdock is a priest, a father in I think it's like a Catholic school, sort of a. It's not like a official church. It's more like a kind of like one of those like Catholic private schools, foster,
sure.
Yeah. And he's a father after he came back from hell at the end of the last 13 or 14, I think it was 14 issue run that ended. Matt Murdock had to go into hell, not physically hell, to rescue his friends who were trapped down there, bring them out, and in doing so, Matt Murdock had to sacrifice himself.
He had to pull a John Constantine.
He did.
That's DC. Sorry.
That's the wrong universe. He has the wrong universe.
I know it was a joke.
I know it was a joke, But it's the wrong universe, man. We're talking about Marvel.
All
Daredevil.
right, sorry, I
right now.
didn't mean to be funny.
Yeah. Stop being. Now is not the time for funny. Now's the time for Daredevil. Okay.
Gotcha.
Daredevil serious business.
My bad.
That is your bad. All right. So he had to How's it going? He had to bring his friends out of hell, sacrificing himself to get trapped. But so he, died in hell, whatever. But God resurrected him, brought him back to life with sort of lost memories and a new persona as the priest Father Matthew Murdock. But through comic book magic and voodoo, he gets his memories back and becomes Daredevil again.
Voodoo?
Yeah.
Comic book voodoo?
Yeah,
I don't think voodoo.
Well, anyway, that Daredevil's good. It's a little bit different, a little bit interesting, but it's going cool. He teamed up with Doctor Strange this past week. Always fun. So we'll keep up with Daredevil, seeing where that goes. Also, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, number 5. There's been a lot of talk around Justice League versus Godzilla, and I figured
this is something that's surprising that people wanted to hear your take on, because there were a lot of complaints about it. Like, what? It's just a fun book. What's everyone complaining about? Why don't you tell us a little bit of background here?
Yeah, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. 5 issues in, I figured I'd give it a little bit to talk about to see how things kind of smoothed over. But they haven't. People are mad about this book. People are kind of upset. It's a point of controversy, and I don't really understand why. The big thing is Superman. Superman's so overpowered, guys. I mean, we would be able to kill Kong in like 3 seconds. But look, I think it's important to remember that this is a comic meant for children. Okay, this is not we're not going to Mars. Okay, we're not time traveling. It's not that deep. It's Godzilla. It's Kong. It's Superman. 3 characters that have no business fighting each other are not fighting each other.
Would never fight each other. They don't.
Yeah.
It's not even saying.
It's not even a thing, and
it's
they're
just
making
about
it a thing.
Fun.
For fun.
See this word? People. Fun! Exclamation point. It's fun. That's what it's supposed to be. Fun. Keep it that way. I think you guys are way digging deep into the weeds on this.
I think we're overthinking it just a hair.
Just enjoy the comic. You know what? You don't have to like it. That's okay. Say it sucks, whatever. But we all know that Superman could wipe these people out, or these things out. But let's just take it for what it is. It's just supposed to be fun.
And look, I'm a big believer, advocate for, objectively thinking and reviewing about everything you consume. I don't like or even really believe in the idea that you should just mindlessly consume a movie or whatever. But at the same time, there are some things that are made
just for fun
that aren't really meant to be taken that way. And this, I think, is one of them. It's not really something you're supposed to think too much about. It's not really supposed to be something that you have to overanalyze. And
it is called DC Entertainment, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Entertainment.
Entertainment, yeah.
Be entertained, people. That's all. That's it. That's it for me. Be entertained.
Yep. Well, anyway, that's Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong. The other thing I'd like to talk about, I took your guys' advice, and I started reading Nightwing. Tom Taylor, if you haven't heard, he's not going to be writing it for much longer. Starting in May, I think they're debuting, I guess, a 4-issue finale to Tom Taylor's run on writing Nightwing. It's going to be a big deal. DC best-selling title by far is Nightwing. So whoever they pick to replace Taylor has got to be good. It's going to be vital to the survival of the run and the company, because none of their titles are really selling that much. So it's going to be important to see who they pick. But I read Nightwing 111. I started reading Tom Taylor's run, and you guys are right. I have been missing out. It was really good. I'm going to go back. I'm going to read from the beginning. I think he started at issue like 75, 78 or something like that. I'm going to be reading up because, wow, I have been missing out.
Well, Nightwing's always been a solid run for DC. I mean, since Tim Seeley was writing the book. I mean, he did a huge run on Nightwing. It was fantastic. And I don't know, from Tim Seeley to Taylor, both. I mean, Nightwing's been their most consistent seller. DC's number one because everyone likes the book for one thing. But I mean, he outsells Batman. Yeah. I mean, here in our store, he outsells Batman. And I'm sure Nightwing's just been one of those that he's underrated. Nobody gives credit for the kick-ass storylines that have been done. I wonder if they're going to do it, though, Sound of Music style, where Tom Taylor's going to goodbye, and then everyone in the audience, goodbye, as they slowly wave and just send them off.
I'd actually argue your point. That Nightwing is. I don't think Nightwing is underrated. I think Nightwing is actually perfectly rated as one of the best characters in DC. I think everybody understands that, and I think everybody appreciates.
I think you're
that,
right. Just that Batman's number one, so I get it. So always got to talk about.
Batman. But Batman has been like that, and I think Nightwing is sort of a new generation's Batman, a new character that everyone can get behind. Everybody gets behind Nightwing. So I disagree with you on that.
I'll concede to your take on it. Nightwing. I just wish there'd be more hype about it because it is good writing. It is good writing,
which is why it's DC's best-selling title. I think.
The sales speak for itself. You're right. It can drop the mic. It's fine. Sales can speak for itself. You're right. I concede that take. That's a good job.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Thank you.
So now we have to. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we bring in the Mighty Mafu?
No, I think we're good.
We think we've satisfied the fans in there. Oh no. We got to talk about Batman.
Oh yeah, Batman. That's right.
All right. We had a lot of people wanting us to rank Batmans here,
and also discuss who we think should play Batman in the DCU. So we're gonna do that first. I've heard a lot of people, who should play Batman. The casting of the Justice League and the DCU with James Gunn is a big talking point right now, especially after the, everything with Superman Legacy that's been hyping up recently. I've heard the internet, right? Alan Richardson. Richardson. Okay. Richson. Yes, Richson. Okay. The producer helping me out here. I do apologize for mispronouncing that name.
The producer. The wife.
Oh, yeah.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah. Richson. Alan Richson. My apologies. I probably just angered every viewer we have with that.
And I also angered the wife.
Thank you. That's good. He's been waiting all day for that.
I'll be downstairs tonight.
Yeah, he'll be downstairs. Yeah. But my apologies for those. He in the Reacher Amazon Prime show. Those of you who might have watched that disgrace of a Titans take. Titans. He was Hawk in that show. That was awful. But we don't have to get into that
because of our budget. We handwrite our cue cards.
Yeah, we handwrite these. Sometimes they get a little mixed up. Mixed up, and so, but we don't. It's whatever.
Because of the wife.
You didn't even play the sound cue.
I was getting the look of death, so I stopped.
Okay, yeah, good call. Anyway, outside of those two though, I've heard outside of Alan Richardson, I have heard Jensen Ackles, who I don't really know how well Jensen Ackles would do. I've seen The Boys, obviously like everyone else, but I don't know how well he would do it. Obviously, I've heard the Bradley Cooper take. And I think Bradley Cooper would make a good Bruce Wayne.
Thank you. That was my take, people.
I don't know about that. I don't know about the Batman part, but one of those three is fine. He would
make a great Bruce Wayne, but it's okay to say it. Great Bruce Wayne, terrible Batman. That's what he would be.
Yeah. I'd also like to bring this up too, not related to Batman, but a lot of people, as a big fan of The Flash, I am very invested in who will be playing The Flash in James Gunn's DCU. A lot of people have been saying, what's his name? Lucas Till. Yes, Lucas Till. You will know him from the X-Men prequel films. I think he was in First Class, and he made a brief appearance in Apocalypse.
What's wrong with the guy from the CW show?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing is wrong. But I don't, after 9 seasons, I don't think Grant Gustin really wants to play him.
I think Gustin should be the Flash. Yeah, he played a perfect Flash on CW. I liked it. I think he'd be great as the Flash. Yeah. In the movies, they don't respect network TV, man.
They don't.
They don't respect it. Gustin should be Flash. Period.
Yep. But anyway,
back to Batman.
We're gonna rank it. We're gonna rank the Batmans. Yes.
Let's get on with it, man.
Let's get on. I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I of course I'm biased. I want 88 Keaton to be Batman. He's a straight up solid Bruce Wayne, and then solid vigilante dressed up as the Dark Knight. But if we can't get him, then we got to go with the number 2 best Batman, Christian Bale. Yep. Christian Bale played both a great Bruce Wayne, little weaker on the Bruce Wayne side, but great vigilante side. So I'm partial to those two guys. Adam West is dead, so we can't call out the old. I like Adam West because he can always throw in a good upbeat message with every save that he does. So
yep.
he can make sure he tells Robin to look both ways before crossing the street, and he's make sure you chew your food all the way before you swallow, old chum. You know, I mean, I am definitely an Adam West fan. God rest his soul. I just think that he would make a great Batman always because he's Adam West. So anyway, that's my take. There's only 2 to choose from.
Yeah. Look, I disagree. I disagree with that list from the top down. I don't think there's a single correct listing on there. In fact, I don't. That is one of the 3 opinions in the world you don't have to respect. If you don't want to listen, if you're saying, man, I'm tired of respecting all these people's opinions, I want one I don't have to respect, just look at my father's take. You don't have to respect that one, okay? That can be your one.
Right. You can disrespect your father, kids out there. Go ahead. Don't respect your father.
Respect. You can disrespect my dad's take because I don't. That's a terrible take right there. Look,
I think it's a good take. Go ahead and defend me.
Yeah, please do, actually. I think he'll need some after I'm done. Anyway, the best Batman, Christian Bale. I will applaud you for having him on the list.
That's my number 2 pick.
I will applaud you for having him on the list. Where we disagree is on the listings of Adam West and Michael Keaton. You're gonna be shocked where I put Michael Keaton. Number 2, Robert Pattinson, from probably the second best Batman movie ever made, and that is The Batman from 2022. That movie is, Dark Knight and The Batman are very close, but I think The Dark Knight, just personally, I like that one a little bit better. But Robert Pattinson is close number 2. Number 3, Ben Affleck. Now, this one ruffles some feathers. My mother's feathers, to be exact, because she is looking at me with a glare of death. Play the cue.
The wife.
In case the mother, in my case, the mother, right? But Ben Affleck did a great job as playing an older, more experienced Batman, more reminiscent of something like from The Dark Knight Returns or a similar or a story, similar or adjacent, right? Ben Affleck did a great job. Number 4, I'm going to give it to Will Arnett, the voice of the Lego Batman from the Lego Batman movie.
That's a solid take. I love Lego Batman.
Lego Batman is probably the 3rd best Batman movie. It goes Dark Knight, then The Batman, and then Lego Batman. I think are the top 3 Batman movies ever made. That's a great
Lego
film.
Batman's up there. It's definitely in the top 5.
And then number 4, I'll give you Adam West. Okay, Adam West.
Just on
the classic. It's a classic.
You just can't get rid of a bomb.
Number 5, though, is going to be Michael Keaton. I know that's going to make some people angry, but personally, I just don't like Keaton. I don't like Keaton as Batman. I don't like Keaton as Bruce Wayne.
Are you trying to hurt your daddy?
Yes. I do not like Michael Keaton or, for that matter, our number 6 pick, George Clooney. Or 7, Val Kilmer. Don't even get me started.
Yes, anyway. But he was great in Top Gun.
He was great in Top Gun.
He is the Iceman.
Iceman.
And Real Genius. Good Real Genius.
Yep.
We like the popcorn scene.
We do. All right. Anyway, that is my ranking of the Batmans.
All right, cool. So, hey, everyone, we answered the questions. Thank you. We really appreciate it. If you have any more topics you want us to discuss and get our take on, we're happy to do it. Go ahead and let us know. If you like what you're seeing so far, make sure you smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also, want to send a shout out to JD. I want to shout out to Matt, Option 8. And I also want to shout out to Tamara, Sandy. I want to send a shout out to Scott and the boys. Jimmy the Souser. I want to make sure that we send a shout out to him. If you want to get a shout out, make sure you keep sending us your requests. Now we're going to get on with it. The Mighty Mafu, people did want to hear his take on Transformers. They love following the Mighty Mafu's take. Hey, congratulations to Matthew for building quite a file. And I thank you guys for respecting his take on Transformers. He takes it seriously. He's reading the books and making sure he wants to do well for you guys. So I'm going to leave it to Atomic Tommy to go over Transformers with the Mighty Mafu, and then we'll be right back.
All right, Matthew, Transformers number 5. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way first. Devastator, the Constructicons. What's your take? Go.
Well, I thought it was cool to see Devastator because this paves the way for more combiners to enter this comic series of Transformers, such as, the aerial bots, the Combaticons, the Protectobots, and the Stunticons. Now, for those who don't know who the aerial bots are, they're basically the Autobots' planes. I know that the Autobots have Jetfire, Skyfire, whatever you want to call them, but, like the aerial bots are the combiner of Superion, and their planes, so that they can fight the Seekers of the Decepticons in the air while the Autobots fight the Decepticons on the ground. So it's divide and conquer, really.
Right. And for those who also don't know, a combiner, what is a combiner?
So it's basically where it's like 5-6 Transformers combined into this one mega robot where
They all have a gimmick, or they all
Right.
have some sort of ability or power that they have.
like the Combaticons combine into Bruticus, and they're taller than normal Transformers.
Yeah, they're big. It's 5 Transformers that combine into one big Transformer, just like Voltron, except in
Right.
Transformers.
Exactly.
So let's get on with it though. What do you think about what did you like most outside of it paving the way for more Constructicons? More combiners. What did you like most about seeing Devastator in this book?
I thought it was awesome to see Devastator because when you think about it, I can see it when Devastator's just stomping on the Autobots, saying you are puny and I can just crush you under my foot.
You like envisioning the art of it. You think it'll look cool. I see that. Danny Warren Johnson's a good artist and a good writer, and I think it'll be cool to see what he does with the Constructicons and with Devastator. What did you think about the book as a whole?
I thought it was cool because they brought in more Decepticons other than the Constructicons. They got Frenzy, and this time it's Red and Black Frenzy, because in the original toy line, for those who don't know, in the G1 toys, Frenzy was actually purple.
Okay, well, let's back up here. Who is Frenzy?
So Frenzy is one of Soundwave's cassettes. He's part of that original lineup with Rumble, Ravage, Laserbeak, and Buzzsaw.
So most of you will know Ravage and Laserbeak, eject, and he just, flies out of there.
Yeah.
Ravage is another one of those cassettes that he can eject, and also Rumble is what you said?
Yep, Rumble.
And
Frenzy.
Yes, are 2 more cassettes that he can eject, similar to Laserbeak and Ravage.
And then, Frenzy was purple and Rumble was Red and Black in the toy line, but in the cartoon, it was reversed, where Rumble was purple and Frenzy was Red and Black.
So they're switching it up.
Yeah, so the comic book is taking the G1 cartoon approach, which is cool, really, because that's how I always envisioned Rumble and Frenzy, where Rumble is purple and Frenzy is red and black.
Yep.
So that's that's me. And then Reflector, that's the other one I wanted to talk about, because for those of you who don't know about Reflector, he's another spy. For the Decepticons, just like Soundwave, he transforms into a camera. So it's 3 different not 3 different, but they're 3 of the same Decepticons who transform into this mini camera, kind of like Soundwave can transform into the microcassettes, tape recorder. And he can spy, he can take pictures of the stuff that Megatron needs to get into like this facility to steal this formula to make him super powerful and destroy the Autobots. Something like that. And, he... and in the toy line, they were 3 different Decepticons who transformed into that camera, but there were different names. I think one of them was Spyglass, one of them was Reflector, and I'm blanking on the other one.
Okay. Refractor. What's the name?
Reflector.
Reflector. Okay, Reflector. Yeah. Reflector. Refractor. Refractor.
Whatever.
Reflector is one of the Decepticons that transform into the camera.
Yes, and in this one, it's only one, which I'm thinking, the other 2 are on the ship just in stasis.
You think so?
Just still asleep.
So you think we could see a camera in this run potentially?
Right, spying on the Autobots, just in miniature form, because I'm sure that, Starscream's going to be like, you know what, Soundwave? You need to revive the other, the Reflector team again. Yep. and Thundercracker's in this one. And he's one of the original 1984 Seekers before the Coneheads, which was Starscream, Skywarp, and Thundercracker. Now, Skywarp is allegedly killed and he got torn apart and used to build the Constructicons.
But that might bring him back. Who knows?
Right. Because, and now, you know, he's like, what evil Autobot did this to you? And then Starscream's like, I'm not telling you.
Yeah.
It's a secret.
Proving the evilness of Starscream. But that's a good take. So Reflector, is that the one that Optimus blasted into 1,000 pieces with? That was a cool shot. That was a cool panel.
Oh yeah, because I thought it was cool that Optimus Prime is wielding Megatron's arm since he lost it in issue 3.
That is cool. That is a cool little, I guess you could call it, Easter egg.
Yeah.
A cool little switch up to what some people are used to, and that was a cool shot too. Just Reflector getting blasted. But I'll quickly give my take. One of my favorite things that Danny Warren Johnson is doing right now is really putting an emphasis on connecting the Autobots, the big Transformers, to the little humans on a personal level, right? Not just, we're both soldiers or, we're both this, but really giving them shared life experiences and really giving them that strong bond and connection, really diving into both characters and how even though, they're two different species, they're very, they're still similar in character and, similar on what's in the inside. I know that sounds corny, but that's something that a lot of previous iterations of Transformers try to do. They try and make that connection and try and do that, and sometimes it doesn't always work. Whether it feels too forced or just too on the nose, it just falls flat a lot of the time. And with this, it's actually done, I think, really well, and in a way that is actually really meaningful to both characters and pays off really well for both characters. So I applaud Daniel Warren Johnson for doing that, making me care about the human characters and actually connecting them to the Autobots really nice and giving them a place in the story. I think is really cool. So
can't wait to see what happens next.
Matthew. Thank you for coming on and talking Transformers. We will see you next time.
I tell you what, he gets excited about his Transformers, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He's very passionate about the franchise. I respect that.
I do too. He does a good job reading it. It's helped him read and go a long way in school. I tell you what, comic books, I tell you what, teachers out there, parents out there, don't underestimate the power of good comics to help a child read. So I can't encourage that enough. Comics can be a great gateway to novel reading. Don't think it'll shorten them in any way of how far they can go with reading. Just the fact they love to read is important, and make sure you keep up reading with your children if you have them. Jimmy the Seucer donated a nice prize. If you want to comment on our last segment, which was the Batman segment, tell us your favorite Batmans or who should be the next Batman, and we'll put you into a little drawing, and then you could win one of these. It is a velvet doodle board.
Felt doodle board.
Yeah.
Complete with the markers, coloring, great for really anybody of any age, honestly. Anybody can have fun with
it's a fun art piece to do. Any comic enthusiast would love to have this.
I'd color it.
Of course you would. But anyway, Jimmy, thank you for donating this to the cause. And if you guys want to, feel free to send us the comment. Everybody who puts in their comment will put it into a drawing, and then we'll announce it on the air, and they can come and pick it up. Yes. So we're done for the week. Wednesday, we are going to have a special announcement with a fun thing for all of you to participate in, and also some big announcements of our Saturday signing days. So we're going to go through all that and more on Wednesday. So make sure you tune in. We're going to have our show come out. Of course, you're watching now here on Monday night. And then also on Wednesday, we're going to have another episode with our big announcement. So we got 2 episodes this week. Make sure you stay tuned, everybody, and we'll talk to you on Wednesday.